$1 million question on everyone's mind is it a scam? And it literally is the $1 million question, because if you jump into this thing and you acquire by purchasing, or you acquire by earning with hash power and hash power rewards, 1,000 TexitCoin, and we take TexitCoin to $1,000 a coin, which is a lofty goal. I get it, but 1,000 times 1,000 is $1 million. And if you walk away from the chance to get in and you say, "Meh, it's a scam," if you make that decision, you're putting at risk $1 million. And in the very beginning, it was difficult to overcome those objections because they're fair. It's like, how many times is somebody cooking up a new crypto every day? 100, 1,000, 1,000,000 new cryptos come into existence every day. How do you know that this one is going to be the next one, or at least real? You don't know. I tell people that time is the ultimate arbiter of that question. And we've got a pretty good track record right now. Not only have we been around long enough to know, that our model works, but a lot of people have made good money on this thing so far. And they've made money through either the referral program, or they've made money through monetizing TexitCoin. And so that track record is really something that's a huge advantage for us. And it's the reason that we're seeing people not, jumping on and grabbing just one seat anymore, but starting with 3 or 5 or the 9 builder plan. But that $1 million question still exists. And so I wanted to go through it kind of in a little bit more detail, if you don't mind. But, what is that question? Is it a scam? Is it a Ponzi scheme? Is it a rug pull? Is it a pump and dump? Is it a pyramid? Like, those are the common objections that we get, or concerns that people bring up. And I just want to run through them all real quick and talk about them, because I know if I get those questions, then you're going to get those questions as well. And I think these are fair questions. I think they're fair questions because so many things like that exist in these realms of cryptocurrency. There's a scam around every corner. The realm of affiliate network marketing, there's a slimy scam around every corner in that industry as well. And so the odds are stacked against us, first of all, number one. And number two is, what are the chances that we're the one legitimate thing in this entire, space that's overrun by all these scams and fly-by-nights? So the objections are fair. The concerns are real. And so I want to go through them real quick again on this call, because I'm sure we've got some new people that would like to have those questions answered, especially from Mr. Founder and Fearless Leader. By the way, did I introduce myself? Bobby Gray over here. Anyway, let's go through it real quick. Let's start with number one. Is it I don't know, where do you want to start? Which one's most common, Tim? I would say the rug pull one might be most common today. What do you think?
Yeah. We get that a lot. What keeps the founder from running away with all the money?
Got it. Okay. So let's talk rug pull for a minute. So rug pull, if you don't know what that phrase means, it means that for some reason the project instantaneously and quite illustriously comes to a drastic conclusion. And there are lots of different rug pulls out there. We call them also exit scams. Like we'll say, well, something went wrong that we didn't think of, and so we're closing up shop and everything's gone. Or we could pretend somebody dies. I've seen that one happen. I think that was the Quadrix thing out of Canada, Gerald something or another, this Canadian exchange. All of a sudden, the guy disappears in India, but there's the death certificate and nothing to see here. So the rug pull is where you build it up and then all of a sudden the founders disappear with all the money. And so what I point to in that example is the Block Explorer. And if you go to explorer.texitcoin.org, you'll see a history of all the transactions. And remember, the great thing about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, for the most part, for most of them, is how transparent it is. We know where all the crypto is. We know when it's being transferred and moved between different wallets. If you get exotic AI-powered software, you can go back through and you can trace it all the way back to the very beginning. But the point is that on that page, you can see what's called the rich list. I think it's a little blue icon on the left side of the screen. You can see the rich list. And in the rich list, you can see who the big holders are, what the wallet IDs are, and how much they have. And what happens is, as our community gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the percentage of TexitCoin that's being held by the top 100 wallets actually becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's exactly what we want to see. And what happens as the percentage held by the whales, the guys that got in very early, as we see that percentage get smaller and smaller and smaller, it means that it becomes less and less likely or more difficult for somebody that got in early to do a big sell and to smash the market price down. And so as our community becomes larger and our payouts become more fragmented, meaning that we're paying out every day and more wallets, it increases the fragmentation. It increases the externalization of all the TexitCoins that are out there. Remember, our network makes about 95,000 TexitCoin every day. And so if all those TexitCoin go into one wallet, then there's one person that controls them all. If it goes into two wallets, then one guy, two people are acquiring it. And then as more and more people come in, it makes that pie get divided into smaller and smaller slices. And so as you look at the rich list and you consider the possibility of a rug pull, you got to understand who these people are that are on the top of the list. And you can't tell exactly who they are by name. You can see them by wallet ID, but you could reach a high level of certainty that these are guys that got in earlier, and they're also guys that are doing the most to build out our TexitCoin community. And again, I don't want to mention them by names, but the point is that as TexitCoin becomes more and more expensive, and as there's fewer and fewer TexitCoins at cheap prices on the market to pick up, it becomes more and more difficult to obtain one of those top seats. So we've always said that because of the limitations that we have on the amount of TexitCoin mining seats that can be purchased, it means that the people that are going to be mining the most TexitCoin are the ones that are going to roll up their sleeves and do the most work to build the TexitCoin community. And what that does is it creates this inverse relationship with the likelihood of a pump and dump or a rug pull, because the guys that are doing the most work to build it are the guys that have the least amount of incentive to crash it and destroy it. And so I don't know if that would fall under the pump and dump. No, that's definitely not pump and dump. That's definitely the rug pull or the exit scam. So the guys that are really building the foundation of this community, the guys that are out there running the meetings, the guys that are out there building teams, the guys that are out there, doing the Zoom calls, bringing people together, they're the ones that are earning the most hash power. They're the ones that have the largest handfuls of TexitCoin. And those guys, I'm going back to them and saying, look, guys, I need you to sell some of your TexitCoin. I know we all know where this thing's going, but we can't all hold on to it forever. And so one of the biggest problems we actually have with TexitCoin is that we don't have enough sellers. I know it sounds hard to believe, but there's not enough seller in limit order liquidity, as you look at like Dextrade and Bitmart, to satisfy the appetite of some of the whales that are going to come into our community as time goes by. And so I'm specifically going now to the whales, and there is a whales chat with the guys that have, 3, 4, 500,000 TexitCoin. And I'm saying to the whales, look, we need to start peeling off some of our TexitCoin to put together packages for us to take to our friends in Asia when we go out to Thailand in September. And we've got, a half a dozen or a dozen commitments so far from people that are saying, all right, I don't want to sell, but the fearless leader over here says that we've got to start making some TexitCoin available. So we got to monetize on the way up. And that way that we get more of this TexitCoin spread out into more and more wallets. And again, every time that TexitCoin gets spread wider and wider and wider, it becomes more difficult for anybody to acquire a large handful of that to dump on the open market and drive the price down. Now, that's one part. The other part is our commitment to liquidity. And what that means is that we're bringing our own cash to the conversation, to the marketplace, and saying, look, this is the liquidity that we have. Not enough to buy back every point at market price, but it's enough to support our market price. We've got $1 million of USDC right now in a dedicated coin. And we also have, I think, $338,000 of Bitcoin. We've got gold, and we're almost up to our next level, which is $2 million of liquidity. And once I'm able to show you and prove to you that we have that, that's when we stair step the market up to the next level, which I think is $1.95 off the top of my head. Anyway, objection, concern number one, the rug pull. You've got a bunch of people involved in this project that have been committed to the ideals of honest money since I started the American Open Currency Standard back in 2008. So you've got to decide, is this my big money grab, Or is this the continuation of my life's work, taking off the horse and gold and silver, horse and buggy blinders, and building ourselves now a digital currency rocket ship using the tools of our time, embracing everything that there is to love about cryptocurrency? Or is this, a easy, quick buck for me? That's, a question that you've got to check in your gut to find the answer to. And again, like, what do we point to prove that this isn't some sort of rug pull exit scam? We point to congressional testimony back in 2012, before most people ever heard about Bitcoin, talking about honest money, complementary currencies, in front of Ron Paul's Domestic Monetary Policy Subcommittee. We talk about, coins we've made, different people we've worked with over the years. We talk about, being familiar on a fundamental type of level with the importance of honest money. And so, again, that's what I point to, and that's what you can point to as well, to give us a little bit of credibility and a lot of authenticity in this conversation. Also, take a look at the fact that my first step into the realm of cryptocurrency was back in 2017 when I started creating the cold storage coins. I didn't have an idea for an ICO. I wasn't out there trying to raise money for something. I was noticing that people were getting into crypto, but they were struggling with hackers and forgotten passwords and crashed hard drives and, all kinds of digital risk. So my contribution to cryptocurrency industry back to 2017 was helping people with an easy to use solution to keep crypto safe. And so between the commitment to honest money, the commitment to community currencies that goes all the way back to 2008, the congressional testimony, and the product that we manufacture that helps tens, hundreds of thousands of people keep crypto safe, I think all of those things point to the possibility, the likelihood that this isn't a rug pull, it's not an exit scam, it's not an easy get rich quick thing for me. The way that we chose to build this thing, it's not a meme token. You can click, click, click a couple times and create Shiba coin or Hawk 2 Girl coin or Trump token. By building a mine, we chose the hardest of hard ways. There's work that goes into it. And I like that because I like doing the hard work. Most other guys are scared away from 480 power and three-phase electric and all the immersion cooling infrastructure that goes into making TexitCoin possible. Not me, not my team. And so if you look at the possibility of the exit scam rug pull, it's unlikely based on the way we've built this and the credibility and authenticity that we bring to the table. So there you go. How's that for concern objection number one, the rug pull? If this was going to be a rug pull, we did it the really, really hard way. Number two, what were we saying for number two? The pump and dump? Pump and dump falls kind of into the same category there. It's very similar. It's like, okay, what's our strategy to get this thing up to the $1 billion mark? Are we just going to go out there and hire the influencers, the Mayweathers and the Kanyes and the Kardashians and all those guys to jump on social media and tell the world to buy this thing? No, 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 no. We may get there someday, but our strategy today is in building the community and building the mind. Foundation for TexitCoin has nothing to do with social media influencers. Again, back to the fact that we're doing this the hard way. We believe that there's a correlation between the size of our mind and the value of our coin. There's also another thing in there, which is the size of the community. Any rich guy can build a 100 million mega hash mine. It's expensive, but if there's not a community of people that are advocating for that mine's and that coin's success, it's worthless. It's absolutely worthless. You're just one of those guys throwing another $1 billion at Bitcoin mining. You tell me you're going to throw $1 billion at Bitcoin mining, I tell you you'll be out of business in 5 years. Because you add $1 billion worth of equipment to the Bitcoin mining network, China adds 10 billion. They will always have the ability to outcompete you because they make the hardware. I saw a TikTok the other night from the All In podcast guys talking about how much more electricity China is adding to the grid on like a quarterly basis. Like every quarter, they're adding the entire US energy supply to their grid. They're increasing it by that much every quarter. So it means they get cheap electricity, they make the chips. It makes it all but impossible for America to compete in the realm of Bitcoin, which means we have to do it different. And if we're going to do it different, why not do it better? TexitCoin. So when we look at the possibility of the pump and dump, we say, no, no, no. We're looking at building a mine, building a community, and those two things combined build the value and the interest in the coin. Now, we have to use the coin. There has to be real utility there. And of course, we've got all kinds of things lined up for later with utility. It's phase 2 for us, the community currencies and stable coins that'll be built on the TXC blockchain. A lot of fun and very easy to do, especially given my background. That's the stuff that I'm really excited about because I know how to do it so well and nobody else does. So that's how I deal with the question of whether or not it's a pump and dump, right? We're not investing today in influencers. We're investing in real people, building a real mine that'll service real network needs of the ecosystem that's coming together as we build out this fun thing that's TexitCoin. So that's my answer for the pump and dump. Let's move on to the question of the pyramid. So when you say network marketing, when you say MLM, oh man, the warning signs go off. Is this a pyramid scheme? This is what we don't want. So I said, look, guys, I understand the concerns. I would never be caught dead in a network marketing company myself. I've been pitched enough times. I've been around them long enough to know what to absolutely despise about them. And so why don't we just cut out all the stuff that people don't like? The auto ship. That's number one for me. The auto ship is the fact that you got to pay every month, month in, month out, in order to maintain your status and position. Next thing you know, you got a garage full of whatever it is that that's being peddled, and you quit, and then you get bored, and then you go, not worth it. Let's eliminate that. Let's make this a one-time fee. Well, it'll never work if it's a one-time fee. It's going to be a one-time fee. That's it. You don't ever have to put anything else in if you don't want to. That's it. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. We got plenty of people in TexitCoin that just want to mine residual TexitCoins and sell them every day on the open market. You get about $5 a day per seat. That means about 200 days later, your seat's paid off and you get to mine TexitCoin forever, for the rest of your life, for 136 more years. And you don't have to tell anybody about it if you don't want to. A lot of people join and they say, I would never do your shady referral, non-MLM, MLM thing, but can my brother join? Is it all right if a couple guys from work want to? Yeah, but you're kind of doing that referral thing. And so the accusation about a pyramid scheme is a real thing because, the consumer protection bureaus, the attorney general, they love to go after those pyramid schemes and shut them down. At the core, a pyramid scheme is one of those multi-level things. You start drawing the pyramids and the circles and the lines on a board where the guys at the top make all the money and the guys at the bottom never get anything. In fact, if you look at the Direct Selling Association, that's the MLM, they call it direct sales. If you look at the Direct Selling Association's own statistics and reports, they will tell you that if you join a network, there is less than a 1% chance that you will get back your original money that you put in. Less than 1%. I haven't checked recently, but the last time I looked, we were at 17% of the people that are in TexitCoin have gotten already at least their original money back. And of course, 17% is not, anything to brag about. I'd like everybody to do that. And I think most people at this point can, at least the ones that got in, 2, 3, 4 months ago. But but there's a difference between a active, builder on the rocket ship and somebody that's kind of just a passive rider. And what we designed is something that it's totally fine for you to be a passenger on the ship. And just, you put the blindfold on, you just you lean back in your chair, you hit the snooze button, wake me up in February when we get to 16. And that's great because those people are helping us get towards our goal. So we want those guys. We need those guys for this thing to be successful. But I would argue that anybody that wants to roll up their sleeves and do a little bit of work and be successful with this thing, it's just a matter of time. If you need an example, my dad is the best example. Mr. I am not a salesman. Mr. I could never sell anybody anything. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. My dad's a good guy. He's an honest guy, but he's not a salesman. He's not. And if he's listening, I'm sorry, Dad. Love you. But my dad's starting to perform. My dad's starting to do it, in fact, actually quite well. Why? Because he brought on his children. He brought on 7 of his 8 children. I don't remember when, but it was early. He didn't buy me in. figured I was already good. But he brought on his kids, and then the kids had their kids and the grandkids. He brought on 16 or 15 or 16 grandkids at one point. And then my siblings are starting to notice that TexitCoin is not so scammy after all. And those billboards all over DFW are looking at them funny. And it started at 20 cents, and then it was 80, and then it was $1, and then it was $1.20, and now it's at $1.75 all of a sudden. And they've got friends that are asking them about it. And all of a sudden now, my dad, Bob Gray, is starting to see his investments in this project begin to pay off. And he's got plenty of TexitCoin as well. But the point is that, it takes time. We get messages all the time from people that say, just got this picture from somebody that was a hard no, saw it in DFW airport, saw it in Austin airport, saw it going down the highway. And all of a sudden now they're interested. It's okay. But the point is that a pyramid scheme is a model that's designed for the guys at the top to make all the money and the guys down at the bottom to not get anything. Our system is flipped. It's reversed. It's designed where the normal guy, the average guy, can do just as well as the guy all the way up top. We have one simple thing built in to make sure that that stays true. We have a max. We have a cap. No tracking center in our deal is able to make more than $3,000 per week. That's it. Capped. And so the guy that's all the way down at number 473 is able to make just as much money or more than the guy that's all the way at the top, which is me. My right leg has not been doing much at all until quite recently. In fact, in the last week, it's done very, very well. The point is that I haven't been getting commission for the last couple of weeks. The guy all the way at the top, if my one side's not matching what's happening on the other, I don't get paid. And so we build a system that's extremely fair. We get a lot of negative feedback about it from master network marketers that go, there's just not enough meat on the bone. If I can't make $500,000 the first month, I'm not interested. And I say, look, if you can make $500,000, it means that I'm not paying out $500,000 to all the guys down at the bottom that are doing all the work. And that seems just patently unfair to me. And that is what's called a pyramid scheme. And so we eliminated that possibility completely by putting a cap in place. That's it. That's all we had to do. There's a cap. That's it. And the guys that come to me and they ask me to bend my ear and give me some suggestions on the comp plan, they come back to me a couple of weeks later and they go, don't change a thing. But I think that they see what I see, which is everyone has the ability to win with this thing. Whether you're winning through earning commission or you're winning through the stacking of TexitCoin and monetizing that on the open market, then it's all good. And we encourage you to win either way and preferably both ways. I ask people, show of hands, how many people have sold TexitCoin on the open market, bought yourself a cup of coffee, paid for lunch, whatever? Like, if you're not turning over the TexitCoin, monetizing your TexitCoin, then you really haven't gone through that cycle the whole way to know that it's real. But again, back to the question, is it a pyramid scheme? No. And it's very easy to tell people that it's not a pyramid scheme because we have that cap in place. Now, if you're a builder and you pick up the builder plan that comes with 3 tracking centers and you build each one of those tracking centers, it's not easy to go supernova on all 3 of those. Supernova, of course, meaning that you've maxed out the comp plan. You could earn up to $9,000 a week. So there's some meat on the bone. $9,000 a week times 52 weeks a year, still $450,000. But I look at it on the other end. I say, how many people would be really grateful about having an extra $1,000 a month? If you could earn $1,000 a month, could that take some pressure off in your life? How many people would consider their life to be fundamentally changed if they made an extra $1,000 a week? An extra $52,000 a year is an amazing amount of money for a lot of people in our deal. But to be able to max out at $3,000 a week, $156,000 a year, to think that as we build out this program, the mine, fill up the seats on the rocket ship, will pay out up to $500 million, $500 million in cash commission as your incentive to help us build this thing and grow. It's an incredible amount of money. But the point is that this system, yes, it smells like network marketing. Yes, we even call it network marketing sometimes. We understand the full consequences of saying that. Even the network marketing guys tell us, stop calling it network marketing. We're not afraid of it because we're doing it the right way. And the right way is to not be a pyramid, to set it up so that the guy at the top makes just as much as the guy that comes in all the way down the bottom. That's what a pyramid is. Those are illegal. They get busted. We have no concern whatsoever because there's nothing illegal about affiliate marketing. There's nothing illegal about network marketing. There's nothing illegal about referral marketing, whatever you want to call it. There's nothing illegal about it. But there's plenty that's illegal with a pyramid scheme. And if we design a system that's going to prevent you from getting something back out of this deal, you're not going to help us grow. And that's a very simple premise that we build into this thing from day one. We want you to win with this project. We want you to get as much out of it as you possibly can. The more you're getting out of it, the more excited you're going to be about it. The more likely you are to go out and share our story with other people. I mean, it's just common sense stuff, guys. But this is what you get from a compensation plan that wasn't designed by a network marketer. Never done it before. It's my first time. And now I might be running a company that's got the best thing going in the entire industry. Why? Because it's real. It's honest. Anybody can do it. I love it. Hopefully you love it as well. But that's the question about the pyramid scheme. Is it a pump and dump? No. We're not paying influencers to jack the price up on the open market so that you can sell. Our coin works more like a stable coin. And we've already documented our exact strategy. Go onto the help desk, look at the article, The Path to 16. It's there in black and white. It tells you exactly what we're doing. We're taking what I did with the open currency standard, and we're taking Metcalfe's law with digital tools to stair step our way up to $1 billion coin. It's easy to do. Nobody else has done it before. I don't know why, but we're doing a lot of things different. It's not a rug pull. This is a continuation of my life's work for the last 17 plus years in the realm of honest money and equal exchange of value. Now on a digital currency rocket ship. All I changed out was the medium of exchange. That's it. Took me a long time to see what I was missing with crypto, but I was really missing it, guys. Crypto gives us a financial technology that may just be the best form of money that planet Earth has ever seen. You can't counterfeit it. You can send it from one side of the world to the other almost instantaneously, almost for free, without even having to go through a bank. You can take one Bitcoin or one TexitCoin and split into a million different pieces almost instantaneously, almost for free. It is perfect money. It took me the better part of a dozen years to admit that. So I don't expect you to agree with me overnight. Try to open your mind up a little bit and think about how we can use these powerful digital tools to put the issuance and control of money back in the hands of the people. It's not a pyramid. The guy at the bottom can make just as much as the guy at the top. And it's not a Ponzi scheme. This is the last one I'll cover because usually it's the most in depth, but we're not borrowing money. What we're doing is we're selling seats on a rocket ship. We're crowdsourcing our mind. If we're not borrowing money and promising a specific rate of return, then we don't have to worry about taking money from the new guy to pay back the old guy. That's the Ponzi scheme. That's the classic Ponzi. We promise the world, we can't deliver it. There's no, possible way that we could possibly deliver on these exponential returns. And so we got to bring new money in to pay back the old money. How do I know that that's the case for sure? Because if we stop selling next week, we'd pay out $0 in commission. Presets every week, every Saturday night at 7 o'clock, we start a new week. So if you guys say, no, I'm not promoting it, I don't have to pay anybody any commission. We settle that up every week at Saturday at 7 o'clock. The week closes out. Commissions are paid by 5 o'clock the following Wednesday. Now, Saturday night rolls around, we count it all up, we buy the hardware, we pay out the commissions, we put the money aside for marketing and promotion. I just paid another $233,000 today for our Houston Airport Intercontinental and Houston Hobby Airport advertising. Fun. It's real fun. As the money gets bigger, the spend gets bigger, and it's just so cool that the connection between the work that we do and the result that we want is so small, and it's getting smaller every day. I love it. I love it. So those are the common objections and questions and accusations that we get. Is it a pyramid? Is it a Ponzi? Is it a pump and dump? Is it a rug pull? Not a meme coin. We're not basing this project off of its collectability or its scarcity like everybody else does. It's a real coin with real people doing real work. And when you can go and connect with someone at a restaurant or a meetup and look them in the eye and have a moment to decide whether or not they're being honest with you, nothing beats that. Everyone's looking for the next big thing in crypto. Nobody knows what it is. I think we've got it. 68 weeks in, I'm pretty sure of that now. Back in the beginning, it was a little risky. It wasn't for everybody. I didn't really want to take money from people I didn't know. Today, I'm very confident that we have a very real project. It's got a ton of momentum behind it. I know exactly where we're going. I know exactly how to get there. And there is absolutely nothing standing in our way. There never has been. Everything that we need to be successful, we already have. We don't need a law to get passed. We don't need to get lucky. We don't need anything externally. We need the world to keep spinning the way it's spun for the last couple million years. And as long as that happens, we're going to be just fine. That's TexitCoin in a nutshell. And the $1 million question is whether or not you think that we're telling you the truth. Because if we are, and I'm right, and we take this thing up to the top 10 where it belongs, I mean, look at the top 10. 20% of the coins in the top 10 are a joke. You got things like USDT, and nobody knows if there's $140 billion wherever backing that thing up. You got XRP, which is a kind of a CBDC in crypto sheep's clothing. Centralized coin, nobody really knows. It's not mineable. It's kind of made for the banks. Eerie how popular that coin is. We got the best of XRP, Litecoin, Doge built into one. A great system, a great plan, a great mind, a great state, great people. And I cannot for the life of me, and I've been searching for the Achilles heel since day one. I cannot for the life of me see what could prevent us and the industry from becoming a top 10 crypto. $1,000 a coin. I can look you in the eye. I can tell you that I know exactly how to get this thing to 16,000. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some work, and it's going to take the industry, the crypto industry, mostly in Japan, Korea, and China, to like what we're doing. But I think they will. Spent 7 years over in Asia. I know that culture pretty well. I know that they love freedom. I know that they love Western culture. I know that they love crypto. I know they love gambling. And I know that they really love honest and good trade. And that's our message. Trade with all. But that's the $1 million question. Is it a scam? And I'd like you to do the research. I'd like you to discover the answer to that question on your own. If you've got an open mind and you're willing to take a little bit of a leap of faith, do some research, do your due diligence, watch the videos, talk to some people that are involved, find out what they really think. Find out how it's gone for them, what their experience is. Determine whether or not it's a good idea for you to participate. Remember, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. We know where we're going. We know how to get there, but it's going to take time. It's not an overnight, thing that we're expecting. Why? Because if it jumps up fast and it crashes hard the next day, then we're all going to be kind of pissed off. Let's get to that point slowly but steadily. February of 2026, our goal is 16. I'm very confident that we can reach that goal. That's not the end, ladies and gentlemen. That is just the beginning. It's proof of concept. We're going to the world and we're telling the world that we are the next big thing in crypto. When we show the world that we've built 100 million megahash mines spread out and decentralized all over the state of Texas, when we've got the better part of 1 million people in our community, when we've got the better part of a $200 million marketing and promotion budget, when we've got 100 million in liquidity, when we have all these things going for us, we're on exchanges, we're traded, we're the whole thing. I cannot see how it would not be possible to go at least up to the top 20. That would put us at $400 or $500 a coin. But decide for yourself whether or not it's a journey that you'd like to take. Come with us. Let's hold your hand and let's get you into crypto. We primarily market this project to people that missed out on Bitcoin. We're not advertising this to the crypto bros. We are promoting this to people that, that didn't understand Bitcoin, maybe had a chance to get in early and didn't. But we're really presenting this to people that are just ready for a lucky break, just ready to have a little bit of fun, make some new friends, and make some money. This whole thing is about money, and that's a difficult conversation for some people. It's not for me. I'm a big fan of money. My friend Rafael Cruz will tell you 3 things about money. It's better to have it than not have it. It's better to have more of it than less of it. It's better to have it sooner rather than later. And I couldn't agree more with all those things. So if you want to have fun, If you want to make some new friends and if you want to make some money, join us at TexitCoin. We're pretty sure you'll be very glad you did. I'm Bobby Gray. I'm the founder of TexitCoin. I join you every Tuesday night for a miners only update. That's where we share behind the scenes information. We go through our sales reports and our numbers and our budgets and our spends and all that stuff. We talk about the good stuff. We talk about the bad stuff. Not everything goes to plan. We change things from time to time. We make adjustments based on the real world data that we acquire. And so we're doing well, but we don't know it all. And so we're learning along the way. And it's important for us to be upfront with you and our community about what those things are. That's Tuesday night. That's our time to directly connect and go through all your questions.